Two heads are better than one, but is one ball better than none? Time to go ball to the wall with episode 6.
Hello.
Hello.
From the other side? Trying out all the different hello song jokes.
I'm working on a Mac, not on a Dell.
Oh. That's funny. Hello, Joseph Barnes, you famous cancer boy.
Hello, Andreas, you ADD person.
I actually went to the doctor this morning.
Were you able to stay focused long enough for him to actually test you?
By the way, it was a her.
A nurse took care of you?
Oh, there's no female doctors in the world?
I was kidding.
You're on a roll with, goodwill, and now you just smashed that with a sledgehammer.
I was 100% joking, though.
I believe you, because you are a sincere and honest man.
Always.
At least parts of the time.
Plus, I wouldn't want to upset the nurses, because I did hear again this week from the nurses. Most of them have watched or listened to at least parts or certain episodes of ours, and they thanked me for being nice with them, so let's continue doing that.
We have a responsibility. Actually, I told you that my mom is a huge fan of this show?
Absolutely.
Yeah, she called me after the...
Damn it! I said absolutely again.
To anyone who hasn't seen this show, anytime he says absolutely, that's a bad thing.
Absolutely.
My mom's been a huge fan, and she called me after episode 4 and said, this is serious, right? And I was like, yes, Mom. She actually said, in Norwegian, this is deadly serious to Joseph, and I think you're making too many jokes.
Can you just say that in Norwegian? Because some people said there wasn't enough Norwegian in the show.
Andreas, dette her ramme alvor. Dette handler om liv og død. Dette her viktig for Josef.
Sounds like a list of IKEA furniture, but okay.
Oh, so Sweden and Norway is the same now?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. We have big-breasted blondes and meatballs all over the place. Anyway, we're churning out episodes like this is some sort of franchise.
This is true, but you never actually finished what your mom said.
This is deadly serious, and you're making too many jokes. And I was like, I think he's in on the joke.
I am indeed.
And then for a second, I felt bad. Because for a second, my paranoid mind told me that maybe Joseph is just accepting all my jokes, and then all of a sudden he'll turn on me saying, you made my cancer situation worse.
I do want to remind you that I'm the one who suggested doing this podcast originally, because I wanted to hear your jokes.
Maybe this is an inception trick. Maybe there's a spinning totem on your table. Maybe this is all a dream, and maybe it's all to fuck with me. Profanity. I'm sorry, Larry.
So you mean maybe I don't have cancer? I'm going to wake up and be like, yoo-hoo, this is great.
That would be better. I think it's all I think you got cancer to ruin my life.
I'm really sorry about that, Andreas.
I love that you say sorry.
I don't say sorry.
Yeah, you do. You say sorry in a Canadian
say sorry.
way. Yeah, but it's like, it's not sorry. It's sorry.
Sorry, eh?
So yeah, we reached episode 6. And I had to Google, because I don't want to be caught being a moron. Damn it, fool, idiot, every time. And that's a sextet.
Isn't a sextet like a 6-piece band?
Maybe, yeah. But sexotology or hextology, we're losing it. But sexotology sounds much more perverse than what this show is. Or does it?
Yeah, it's pretty perverse, but somebody did say if we ever have guests on the show, maybe we should invite a linguologist.
A linguist, you mean?
Oh, yes, he used the correct word. You're right.
Nailed it. Actually, my Norwegian friend who lives in LA, he said it's called next of kin. Pårørende, the word from the last episode.
Which is what you started by saying, no?
Yes, but it sounds wrong, because kin sounds like family, and it's apparently both family and friends. So you're all kin, apparently.
I'm not sure if we should really trust a Norwegian guy living in LA, but if you say so.
He's lived there for 10 years. He's practically American.
Yeah, but all his next of kin are on this side of the world, so, you know?
Although, yeah, but he got a kid. Happy Kid Day. No one has ever said that sentence.
Happy Kid Day. Well, a few people might have, like Jeffrey Epstein.
Ooh, nice. Anyway, it's this is now a hextology or a sexotology or something.
I'm really looking forward to you trying to do this on episode 127, though.
This reminds me of the Fast and the Furious. You look like Vin Diesel. Maybe this is like the slow and the cancerous, but
You're right. It's almost as fast as my body produces tumors.
there's less adrenaline in our show.
There's just as much Paul Walker, though.
Wow, nice. I was thinking if you're Vin Diesel, that makes me Paul Walker. And I think this is the episode where I die. Or maybe the next one.
I don't know. I think he was gone before 6.
All right.
I stopped watching at about episode 2, so I couldn't know.
Anyway, welcome to the slow and the cancerous.
It's funny, you mentioned the word moron earlier, which you apparently overuse a little bit. And last week we talked about the village of Moron over here in Switzerland. And since then I've learned that there's also in Argentina, there's a place called Moran.
Moron.
And they have the University of Moron.
Which is awesome.
Yes, which you probably already graduated from by the looks of it, right?
We're definitely doing a lecture there. Apparently it's fun when we try to find words for things.
And they don't exist?
And my friend was like, you could have opened a dictionary. It would have taken you 2 seconds. When I was trying to talk about the mammogram and turn it into a mammography, because, I'm a M-O-R-R-O-N.
What I want to say is, potentially my time is limited on Earth right now. Do I really want to spend it opening a dictionary? Or as I like to call it, a fat word book?
I think we're losing it, Joe. And we're also going to lose the audience.
Nah. I think we're going to gain new audience because some people may have already seen, because I think we just released it, the sort of spin-off, the action franchise movie spin-off of The Cancer Show.
Yes. You mean the trailer?
I mean the trailer to Cancer Origins. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, I think in the very first episode or the second episode, we mentioned while I spent my first week of chemotherapy in the hospital, some friends came to visit and we shot some scenes for a potential movie trailer. It's when I got told off by the security guard because we were running through the hospital with a fake gun and being chased by my cancer. And so my good friend Oliver, or
Olivier.
Exactly, he spent quite a lot of time editing it into a really cool action trailer about me running around through a hospital, chased by my cancer with my good friend Philippe the IV stand. Some people might think it's in bad taste.
Who would dislike shooting at cancer?
That's true.
It's basically cancer personified, chasing you around the hospital, or just following you and you being agitated.
Exactly, and my friend Philippe the IV stand with his French accent. Joey, be careful, cancer is coming.
Yeah, I love that voice. I wonder who did it.
I didn't even ask. It might be Oliver himself. It might be Jean Reno.
It's this guy.
Really?
Yeah.
He asked you to do that?
Yeah.
I did not know that. That's very cool. I'm a little bit disappointed that it's not Jean Reno, but okay.
Jean Reno was too expensive. I'm cheap as fuck.
That's true.
He said hold off on revealing who the voice is, even though my name says in the credits. But I thought the podcast would be a nice place to reveal it.
I saw your name was in the credits. I thought he just did that to be nice to you so you wouldn't feel left out.
Or because we, in the last show, personified that I am the cancer of the show.
This makes sense. But then why would you be the voice of my friend and not the voice of the cancer?
I don't know. I don't know things. That's my main problem in life.
This is true.
I wasn't at school the day we learned about stuff.
That was a long day, wasn't it?
It sure was. But yeah, anyone who wants to see this trailer, you can check it out. We've probably linked and posted it and on all social media sites. And it's called
Cancer Origins.
Directed by Olivier. What's his name?
Begin.
Begin.
Or sort of Oliver Begins, like Batman Begins.
Ah, that's nice.
And so for people, just to mention it, because it's on the YouTube page, it's easy to find, some people may be listening here on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts or just the audio version. There's not an audio version of the trailer, so you have to go to the YouTube page. While you're there, you might as well subscribe and like it.
Subtle. I like it.
Yes.
You know our friend, we have a friend called Teddy. Shout out.
We do.
So our buddy Teddy Chirim, a talented filmmaker from Amsterdam, he released his new video with Snoop Dogg yesterday.
I did not see that. That is very cool indeed.
It was very cool. And then I praised his video, and he was like, yeah, never mind about that. I'm listening to the podcast, dude. It's really cool. And I was like, pass it on to Snoop.
Was he not listening with Snoop?
I think so. They were getting high. This is like a chuckle show. I'm sure this is great to listen to when you're high.
I could imagine Snoop Dogg listening to this and having a good laugh.
All right, that was really awkward. So, let's return to our. For fuck's sake, I'm trying to curse less in this show.
Just in general, or in this show?
No, I think on the show. I think I have to curse in real life. But yeah, I don't like it on the show. Maybe it's because your father doesn't approve of profanity.
I wouldn't go as far as to say he doesn't approve of it. He doesn't use much himself. I don't think he's going to mind that much if you curse once in a while.
Is it because he's a teacher or was a teacher?
Possibly. Maybe just because he's Canadian, and normally Canadians never swear, right?
I don't know. So do you know, you might not know because you're Swiss Canadian or Pennsylvania Dutch or whatever you are, but are there any specific Canadian swear words? Like in the vein of gosh darn it?
Like moose pile. Empty bottle of maple syrup.
Yeah, that's the worst.
So maybe that, but yeah, I guess I'd have to go to Canada more often to really know.
I'll make sure to get a call back on that at some point in the show. So you'll probably be surprised by my upcoming question, but how you doing, Joe?
You'll probably be disappointed by my upcoming answer. Not too bad. And as always, still doing pretty well at the end of the day. I haven't had any debilitating side effects. I have had the heartburn a little bit, particularly this week after my Tuesday injections.
What is heartburn again? Actual pain in your heart?
No, it's like acidity in your belly.
Why is it called heartburn then? Why is it called belly burn?
That would make more sense, but I didn't decide the name, so I have no idea. You sort of feel it here in your chest a little bit, I guess is why, but it's not really the heart.
Apparently it's all connected.
Yes.
I read that somewhere.
That's true. So I've had that, and I guess the side effect I've had the most, though, is that I've been a little bit more tired these days. I've been having more naps, sleeping a lot more, but as I said from the beginning, being tired isn't really a terrible side effect because you have a pretty easy solution to it, which is have a sleep. If I had to operate heavy machinery or drive a bus, maybe it would be more of a problem, but I'm good.
So on average, how many hours a day do you sleep?
I would say probably 7 or 8 at night, and then maybe a couple during a nap. So maybe 9, 10 a day. I don't know.
That's not too bad.
How about you?
About 2. No, I'm not kidding. It's a problem, yeah. About 2 hours on average.
That's why you always immediately answer my messages no matter what time of night I send them.
This is true.
I understand better now.
It's like a thing. It's like something very traumatic happened a few months ago, and I don't know if we have time to go into it. Maybe the next episode. Stay tuned for more horrible shit. That's the reason why I'm sleeping 2 hours a night. Anyway,
because of a thing.
Yeah, a friend of mine, we're doing this, I guess. A friend of mine stayed with me for a little while, and he tried to commit suicide, and I had to be on suicide watch for a few weeks. I had to deal with the police, hospital, mental institutions, etc. Everyone said, not our responsibility, and I couldn't sleep because I was terrified what he would do, and I haven't really slept since. So that was in April, and now it's September. So I've slept on average 2 hours a night since then. Also, I had a girlfriend, and she ended everything right after that. So yeah, I don't sleep. That's not my thing. But we're not talking about me. We're talking about you. How's your cancer, Joe?
Yeah, good thing we're talking about me, because I want to make some kind of joke, and I don't know if I'm allowed to.
Yeah, make a joke. Come on, let's do it.
Does it have to be a good one?
Why start now?
So you're part of the suicide squad now?
Boom! No, not really, because he survived. He lives. So that's good.
That is good news. Yes, thanks. I'm glad. I hope he's liked and subscribed.
This is taking a dark turn. I wanted this to be a cheerful episode.
Yeah, a cheerful episode about cancer and suicide. Bring your kids.
Well, the cancer is real. The suicide didn't happen. So you're still trumping him. I hate that the fact that the former president of the US sort of has a patent on that word. So I have to find another word. Exceeding?
Sure. But so the side effects are pretty easy to deal with. The one thing I must say I'm getting a little bit fed up with is my blood thinner shots.
Okay, why?
I told you, I've showed you those shots I've got to give myself every day. And it's funny, I've been doing this for a while, actually, since the very beginning, even before my first operation. I was giving myself blood thinner shots because they had seen 2 clots then. And it didn't seem so bad to me. And a friend of mine who had to take them for a while said, you'll see, it's a bit of a pain after a while. And I was like, it doesn't hurt. It takes a minute. I don't see why. And it is true a bit now that I have to do this every night at 8. And at 7, I'll start thinking about it and be like, I got to do that again. Don't really want to. Then when I do it, it is very quick. I just have to swab myself a little bit with disinfectant, shoot it up, and we're good. It almost never hurts. But it's just a bit annoying to have to do that. I'd have to remember to do it every day and have my alarm go off and, I got to shoot up.
Do you think there are people out there who there are people who like cutting themselves who are obviously have other issues, but do you think there's people who get off on putting syringes in their body?
I think there's people who get off on practically everything that exists, so I would go with a yes on that.
So what would be the name of that group?
There's probably even people that get off on putting syringes in other people's bodies, which is worse, I guess.
This is true. But like furries, people who are they the one who have sex with animals, or are they the ones who dress up like animals and have sex with each other?
Both, maybe? I don't know.
Either way, I'm thinking stabbies. That's the new group.
Stabbies, yeah, okay.
What do you like to do in your spare time? I'm a stabby.
Let me introduce you to my boyfriend, Hellraiser.
People are not going to understand that joke because people are, I'm not going to say the word, idiots.
Hellraiser, the dude had a bunch of needles in his face. He looked like a pincushion.
He did, but your references are too intelligent.
That's the first time anyone's ever accused me of that.
There's a first for everything. You said your first funny joke today, or you tried, and somebody called you smart.
Hey, we're on a roll. Maybe I'll get a third compliment by the end of the show.
This might be the darkest show yet.
And so now you asked me how I'm doing, but last week we established that you had some medical issues as well, or might have some medical issues. You went to see your female doctor, as we mentioned earlier. Did you learn anything new?
Just that I'm going to get, she booked the appointment to check out the ADD, and she booked the appointment for scanning my brain for aneurysms. And she said that sleeping 2 hours a night is not healthy. And I was like, gotcha, doc. With
a forehead that big, do they need a team of 12 people to scan your brain?
Yes. They're borrowing equipment from the doctor scenes from King Kong.
That makes sense.
How many different people with a title that ends with gist do you have to relate to? I'm thinking urologist, oncologist, therapist.
Don't worry, I got the gist. Of your question.
Ooh, a funny joke 2 times.
That's basically, I guess. Yeah, the oncologist, the urologist. I saw a radiologist.
Is it because you used to work in the radio?
No, sadly, it wasn't that kind of a radiologist. It was the guy who put this thing in me, the tube up my arm.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, don't see them that often. The ones I see regularly, obviously, is the oncologist, which I see every week and even every day when I'm in the chemo weeks. The urologist I see a lot less. I met him at the very beginning. And since then, I've only actually seen him 2 or 3 times, the third being last week. And he's a very no-nonsense kind of guy. It's the way I like it. He's just straight to the point. You don't waste any time. Usually, you kind of expect you go see a doctor. You're going to be waiting. And if you're supposed to meet him at 3, you might end up going in at 3:30 or something. Mm-hmm. So last time I was supposed to be there at 11:45. I got there at the last minute because there was some traffic. Got there at 11:44. I was out by 11:55.
Nice.
He doesn't waste any time, and he just straight to the point. And he was happy. He doesn't have much to do, so to speak, right now. It's really the the oncologist who's doing everything. He just had to make sure that the operation he did was all right and the scar had scarred well and that I'm doing fine. And he's obviously still in the loop about what's happening, but he's not the guy who has to follow me every day. So I saw him pretty quickly, and then I'll see him again in like the end of October or something.
What did he tell you?
Not much, that things were going as good as can be, at least for what he did. The operation went well. I'm having no complications for that.
So the only reason why we bored everyone with this story is to say that he is a no-nonsense kind of guy?
Yeah, that's about it.
Fair enough. Just one thing. I only just now noticed that you have a Madonna t-shirt on.
I do. I don't know if they can see it, but I do.
Is it like a reference to all your religious friends? Like a prayer?
No.
Is it like a virgin? Are you a material girl? I'm running out of titles here. La Isla Bonita.
I'd like to go on a holiday.
Oh, nice. Are you a Madonna fan, or you just like the t-shirt?
I'm a pretty big Madonna fan until about 1989 or something. I don't know. I like her old stuff. Her new stuff, I don't care for that much.
So you had a no-nonsense urologist. You're semi into Madonna. What about the oncologist? What about him?
Well, I saw him again this week, and he didn't really have that much new information because he won't have any really until next time we do a scan. But I saw him, and the first thing I liked about it is I noticed he had pretty much the same Adidas shoes as me. So
Same shoes.
the same shoes, pretty much the same dark blue Adidas.
Is that a good thing?
I think so. It means he's comfortable when he walks around. Which I'm happy if my oncologist feels comfortable.
Adidas isn't that originally German?
It is. The Adi means Adolf.
Yeah, so it is Nazi shoes.
Not necessarily. It doesn't mean Adolf Hitler. It means Adolf Dassler. I have no idea if he was a Nazi or not. Probably if he had been, it wouldn't be like 3 stripes on the side of the shoe. It would have been a swastika, and they would have probably sold quite a fewer shoes. And we don't say less when we're talking about things that can be counted. We say fewer, which is kind of fewer. I mean, not Führer. Führer is Adolf.
Nice. That's funny. Maybe the 3 stripes is the Third Reich.
You might be right. Maybe I should change shoes then. So yes, my oncologist, Dr. Mengele. I'm sorry, my oncologist. You're not. I much prefer you to him.
That's a pretty low bar.
That's true.
Anywho.
But so yeah, I saw the urologist again, and we sort of talked.
You mean the oncologist?
I saw the oncologist again, exactly. And we talked a little bit about what's coming, because I'm starting on this Monday, the 4th and final round of chemo. Mm-hmm. And so talking about what's next, and I've already sort of mentioned it. So basically, he's pretty sure that I will have to get an operation to take out whatever's left against my spine.
Because the chemo is not going to get to it?
It's so far, at least from what we looked, it's gotten smaller, but not as much as the ones in my lungs, which is actually pretty normal, apparently, because the thing is, it's a part of your body that's less irrigated in blood,
Okay.
which means it gets less chemo. So he's pretty sure that I'll have that operation, where they'll go in somewhere from my abdomen. I won't try and explain where that is again, because we saw how badly that failed last time.
In the circle area, you mean?
Yeah, somewhere in the body area of my body.
Yes, nice. I like that area.
They'll go in from the front to get what's in the back, which sounds like the description on the back of a weird porn film or something.
Is that because if you go from the back entrance, the cancer's going to know you're coming?
That's probably it. Exactly. Try and trick it.
That's what they want us to think.
Exactly. So that operation is almost a given. I want to say it's going to happen.
Uh-huh.
Then the ones in the lungs, that might also be another operation. But he did say he wouldn't be entirely surprised if the 3 things have disappeared completely.
Considering he said that an operation for the lung thing is also a possibility, is that because he's not happy with the progress of how it's disappearing?
No, it's just because he doesn't know now any better than last time. He was very happy with how it started disappearing after the 2nd scan. But now we won't know until the 3rd scan, which I'll be doing in 3 weeks. Uh-huh. And so until then, it's we'll see. It'll be surprise! Tumors! Or hopefully, no tumors.
In the last episode, we referred to it as 3 pieces of shit.
That was probably closer to correct, though.
So if there is 3 pieces of shit still in there, that's going to be a classic case of empty bottle of maple syrup.
Exactly. Moose pile.
Funny, eh?
And then potentially I have even a third operation, which I might have to have, which is still to do with these blood clots. 'Cause I have one on the leg, I have one near the kidney, and the one near the portacath here. And potentially they might decide at some point to put a filter in.
So what did you feel in your heart and in your mind when you were told about the 3 operations?
I was like, yippee, operations! I used to love that game when I was a kid.
Bzz, wrong answer.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not thrilled by the idea of having 3 operations, 2 of them being pretty major operations. But at the same time, I, again, haven't asked for too many details. Since the beginning, I'm trying to take things one day at a time. But mostly I just figure, well, it's what I'm going to have to do, so there's no real point in getting too down about it.
Do you have any friends who have told you face to face that your positivity is almost annoying?
No, not face to face.
I was just wondering, because people are often very negative and you are very positive, and you're so positive that it's like it's almost weird. I'm a fan. I salute it.
I mean, it could be worse. Better to be positive than HIV positive.
So we're back on the bad joke train.
Bad joke train! I don't know.
Cancer train! The cancer train!
The cyclical ideas again. Bring the same jokes back every week.
You're fucking idiots. But callbacks is the oldest and most efficient trick in comedy.
Absolutely. Damn it! I called back, absolutely. I'm pretty sure I hadn't said it for like half an hour.
Oh, that was magic. So, Joe, what's next? What's cooking?
Medically wise, as in 3 days, I go back into the oncology ward for my 5 days of chemo, getting hooked up every morning to Philippe. And that'll be the last of these 4 rounds of that chemo. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how much I'll be seeing Philippe after that.
Well, I'm the voice of Philippe, and you're talking to me every week, so we'll always have each other. We'll always have each other.
This is true. So yeah, and I didn't mention that earlier. I'm hoping somehow, at some point, to be able to borrow Philippe for a little while to go do a photo shoot with him and maybe some more movie stuff.
They probably have like a room full of broken Philippes in the basement.
So that sounds like a very sad place. Be me going down there, and in the middle of all these broken Philippes, one of his eyes would go on, and he'd go, Joseph, Joseph.
So this is either a beautiful like Disney thing where you save the Philippe that everyone thought was dead, or it's a horror film and that thing chases you down.
Philippe would never chase me down.
But maybe this is Philippe's evil twin brother.
It was Jean-Luc.
Jean-Luc.
Is who you called him a few episodes ago.
That's true, Jean-Luc. I think we've yet again overstayed our welcome here.
This is probably correct.
I'm really sorry. I'm sorry for turning this really dark in the beginning. That wasn't my intention.
I mean, yeah, who'd have thought we could have made a cancer show dark suddenly?
Once again, people, like, subscribe, share, or continue doing what you're doing, which is not doing any of those things.
And if you don't like, subscribe, or share, at least touch your balls to make sure they're doing okay.
By the way, have you checked your remaining balls since this happened?
Actually, yes, pretty much every day, because one of the things I was suggested to do for maintenance of the other ball is to pull on it.
That sounds wrong on so many levels.
Just to make sure, I guess, it stays in the right place.
Joseph Barnes, it was a pleasure.
As always, I look forward to seeing you and all you guys again in, 10 days or so?
Until next time.
I hope I'll still be here.
We all do.
Probably not everyone.
Most people.
Yeah, go talk to my ex-boss.